presents School is Now in Session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschooled.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm your host, Agostino Zoida. It's great to be back with you people here at Homeschooled Podcast. I missed you guys from last week, and we're about to embark on episode 2 out of our 3-part series of The Great Debates, where we're debating stand-up comedy, which is meant to be fun and silly and entertaining and just kind of learning about comedy and history and stuff, if you will. And it's meant to do that. It's meant to just be funny in a time where we all just need some lightheartedness, some fun, because obviously comedy is very, subjective and some people have different opinions. So it's just for fun, There's no winners, there's only losers. Just kidding.
I'm the loser.
So we'll get started in a second. And guys, the reason I did this, if you guys listened to the first one, if not, you should go back and listen to it. It was a lot of fun. We actually debated Carlin versus Pryor. That was a really good one. And so you guys should go back and listen to that one or watch that one. And the reason I'm doing it is just because not only do we need like more lighter stuff, like everybody seems to be talking about the election, obviously, and there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and we need to have a little bit of fun. And I remember when I saw the first debate this year that all the comedians I saw the next day that were constantly talking about it, like my feed on Twitter and Instagram was filled with comedians talking about like an election, which obviously an election's a huge deal, and this is a big one. And but like a lot of the comedians, it's like, guys, I haven't seen you write a new joke in a really long time. You know what I mean? And they're just like,
yeah, I saw you post that.
Yeah, man. And I did a show the other night, which is pretty rare, but I'm starting to do like these little outdoor shows or backyards or patios and stuff. And I ran into a comic who I won't say his name, but I've known the guy. I'm pretty sure, Steven, you know him too. I've known the guy probably since I've been doing stand-up. And he gets on stage and he's doing the exact same act that he was doing when I first met him probably 12 years ago. And then he's like one of the people who are like, is so like social and talking about the election and stuff. And I mean, that's fine, but to me, like, as an entertainer, you have a job, and that's to entertain, and you should have your opinions on things. And anyway, it's just beginning to be too much. So really quick, I'll tell you this story, which is I was going through in my mind, since I've been able to vote, like all the presidents we've had, and I was thinking about it, and the first time I was able to vote was for the Obama campaign. Okay, that was the first time I was ever able to vote. And before that, but by the way, I didn't vote. I was thinking to myself, like, I was a kid, man. I was just sitting there thinking, I want to start comedy soon. That's what I was thinking. Okay, when was Obama president? 2008, right? Yep. First, 2008. So, but I started stand-up in 2009. So at that time, like, I didn't even care about, like, kids don't really pay too much attention to elections or voting anyway. But so 2009 came, I was just thinking about getting on stage. I got on stage for my first time, and I eventually started working in the comedy clubs. And then I remember in 2000, whatever it was, 4 years later, when Obama got reelected, right? I remember where I was. I was working at the comedy club, and my world was just, getting to the club at 2 o'clock, and I'd be there till 2 o'clock in the morning. So 2 p.m. to 2 a.m., which was like, setting up for shows, promoting, and then we'd open for open mics. And like, Steven, you'd be there a lot, right? You'd come for open mics and and then we start the real shows. And, I'd get up at open mic once and I go right back to work and promoting shows and stuff. And then after the shows, it would be like comedians hanging out or comedians going like, let's go to a bar, or the bars are closed, let's get a bottle and go home. And it's just partying. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was a lot of partying. It was a lot of drugs. I was not thinking about anything but stand up and partying. And I remember when Obama got reelected, I was at the club during a show, and like all these comedians showed up for their spot, but they were like, "Gee, son!" like especially a lot of the black comics were like, "We got reelected, yo!" Like they were so happy about it. And I remember thinking to myself, "Was that today?" Like I had no idea that it was even going on. Like, I was just way too involved with comedy, and as time went on, like, I think everyone was super involved with the Trump campaign, and I don't know why, maybe because he's like a celebrity who was running, so everyone was talking about it. So obviously I was involved in that one, but still, like, I remember where he was when he became the president, where I was running a show at a bar called Dark Horse. Did you do that one, Steven?
I don't think so.
In Reseda? No, maybe you might have already moved away by then. So I was doing it, and it was basically like an open mic for the first hour, and then the second hour was like a real show. But I had like crazy lineups that like the comedians that were there for the open mic were staying for the late show to watch, the pros. Because, dude, I had, like, Joey was working on his Netflix special at the time, so Joey Diaz was down there every night, and, like, Bert Kreischer, like, I had, like, all these crazy names coming down and working out at this bar. And the night of the election, when Trump won, that's where I was. I was doing that show, and I was on stage when they announced that, like, he won, right? And I remember doing this bit about like female presidents and stuff, and like one of the chicks got mad and she walked out. But I won't go into it now. But I should bring it back. It was a pretty clever bit. But anyway, a comic who was supposed to perform that night, this girl I know, she texted me that she wasn't going to show up for her spot, and I'm like, why? And she was like, I'm just too depressed that Trump won. And I'm like, really? And she was like, yeah, I'm like, what's that got to do with you in comedy? You know what I mean? Like you asked me for stage time. I'm giving you stage time. She's just like, I'm not going to show up tonight. I just thought that was really weird. And the weirdest part about it is that, like, today, that I'm still in touch with that girl, and she's, like, the biggest Trump supporter now. Like, it's just, like, all over. I don't know how she made the switch. But anyway, I just remember thinking, like, I hope I never get to that point where I'm just so worried
Trump
about
loses, she's gonna be like, no, I can't perform tonight.
I know. But I never want to get to a point where I was obviously like, this is the big one because we're dealing with like a virus and it affects all of us. Really, it really does. So like everyone's like super involved. But I never want to put anything before my craft, which is what I was saying. And that's why I'm having fun with the debates, and we're gonna just talk comedy because I love talking about comedy with comics. So that's my story. So you guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Before we begin, this episode is brought to you by Puffy Mattress. Puffy Mattress is currently having the best fall sale like ever, you guys. I'm kind of pissed that I got my mattress a little too early, and I paid a lot more than you guys are going to end up paying. Guys, Puffy Mattress is America's #1 voted memory foam mattress that gets delivered to your door, and they give you 101 nights risk-free. You're guaranteed to get your money back if you're not happy, so I'm going to hook you up. Not only is there crazy sales right now, you're basically meaning like you get like a $3,000 mattress for like $1,500, or depending on whichever one you want, or if you want the $1,500 mattress, you get it for like $500 right now. But on top of that, I'm going to get you $300 off and a free King Puffy pillow. All you got to do is click the link in the description and check it out, you guys. And you can also do so by going to homesschooledpod.com and click on sponsors. And be sure to please download my album. It's called The Bad Guy. It's available worldwide. And I would really appreciate if you guys downloaded it and gave me, most importantly, please give it a 5-star review. That's all I ask you. If you can't afford to download it, at least go to like iTunes and just give it 5 stars and leave me a little comment, because that is super, super helpful. All right, now let's begin. Today we are going to be doing the debates. We're going to be debating Rodney Dangerfield versus Mitch Hedberg, okay?
Okay.
And Kevin, you're going to be representing Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, thank God.
In the past, we used to play like stand-up comedy clips on here, and Kevin always loved Mitch Hedberg.
Of course, I
Even
love Mitch.
I think in the past I've even like compared him before, and you always chose Mitch, so that's why you're repping him. And Steven, I don't know why I thought that you would be perfect to represent Dangerfield, but I know that Dangerfield is such a great joke writer, and so are you. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how I can best represent him, but
well, that's fine. Like, the more fun you have with it, the better. Here's the rules, you guys. I'll ask each of you a question. You have 1 minute, and if I feel that you deserved a point, then you'll get a point. And if you, yeah, and
this is real official.
this is. If at any point you interrupt the other person during his time, I will deduct a point. Okay, so that's how it's going to work, and that's also going to help us get out of here early.
I will only interrupt you. I don't interrupt anybody else. I'll just interrupt you.
Which, by the way, if you go back and listen to the last one, the two comics that I had on were Doc Willis and why am I blanking on his name? Oh, Eric Rocha, and they were like so nice to each other. I'm like, this is the worst debate, and they would interrupt each other to go, I think he's right about that. I'm like, guys, that's not how you debate, but okay.
Well, it is kind of funny because we didn't choose who we're gonna be debating for, so it's just like, okay.
So
it's
there's
just gonna
no
be a fun conversation.
Exactly. Okay. So opening question is an easy one, and you'll probably both get the same question. And we'll start with Steven, since he's a guest at Homeschool Podcast. All right, Steven, the first question is why is Rodney Dangerfield better than Mitch Hedberg?
Well, keeping in mind I didn't pick who I was representing. I think Rodney Dangerfield I like that he does a character. I think his character was, it was so popular. It had its own TV show. It's like known culturally, the Rodney Dangerfield character. And I think he's got more material. He's got like a bunch of albums, and I would say those two reasons are enough.
Why?
I'd be surprised if Kevin has anything to say.
He will have Kevin, do you have a response?
What response
to what he just said?
My client, Mitch Hedberg.
No, a response to what Steven just said about.
No, of
Dangerfield.
course, I agree with him. I think he's.
Oh, that's the end of the debate then.
No.
He wins.
But okay, I got a follow-up question, Steven. I think that's a great point. Yet not only is he a great joke writer, but he's got this character that he's developed. That the character became famous, much like Andrew Dice Clay. You know what I mean? But like, would you say that Mitch Hedberg also is a character, or I don't know,
Yeah.
Is he just doing that off stage as well?
Yeah, but I think Rodney's character was adapted into other mediums to a larger extent.
Right. And I think it's obviously a character, especially since he did a lot of movies, right?
Yeah, essentially playing that character.
And then Hedberg, it was hard to tell if he was doing a character or is he really just like this stoner guy who kind of, talks slow and or kind of like hippie-ish,
What's his character? Just someone who talks slow and makes observations?
I guess that's not really a character. I guess it's like a stoner, like hippie, but today that's like every comic.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, same question. And that question is, why is Hedberg better than Dangerfield?
I would say because he wasn't trying to be. He was just a stoner observer. I just kind of feel like he got high and he just accidentally walked up on stage, and
accidentally.
He just accidentally walked up on stage and started talking. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's funny."
Okay.
But it's hard to say better because in defense of Steven and Rodney, Rodney Dangerfield was a household name. Mitch Hedberg, you go to people who aren't that familiar with comedy, they're not going to really know Mitch Hedberg, but everybody knows who Rodney Dangerfield was. But
that could be because of the movies.
Mitch, it was, I don't know. Rodney, he has his jokes, but Mitch, I guess, just made me think about things differently. And I didn't feel like it was somebody who was just writing jokes. It felt like a character. Rodney Dangerfield was definitely a character, but Mitch Hedberg just felt like somebody that I knew rather than somebody who was performing necessarily, I guess. And that's what I just related to better.
I gotcha on that one. But where you did lose me is where you said that Mitch wasn't trying to be better than Dangerfield, which actually we don't know that because actually Dangerfield did come first, so he very well could have.
Yeah.
So obviously Dangerfield wasn't trying to be better than Hedberg, but the other way around is totally possible.
Yeah, because he wasn't born yet.
Yes, that would be why.
It just didn't feel like when he'd be somebody who'd be competitive towards wanting to make a better joke than somebody, rather than just going out there and just talking what was on his mind. Because the joke styles. I'm not too familiar with Rodney's jokes, but I would say that they were quite different in a way.
Very, I'd say. Steven, do you have a response to Kevin?
Oh.
When's a fly gonna come land on my face?
You don't have to if you don't have one.
No, I guess not. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think he raised any points good enough for a retort.
Sure, I did not. I pulled a
No.
Mitch Hedberg. I'm just kidding.
I like Mitch. I think, yeah, I like Mitch Hedberg as well as Rodney, but I think I feel like in terms of like number of good jokes, I think Mitch has a higher percentage, and then because Rodney has a lot of jokes that I don't think have aged well, or they're just kind of corny. He has some really great ones, whereas I think Mitch's have aged a little better. Maybe just because he's newer.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It hasn't aged as much.
We're bringing up better arguments against our other sides
For each other. Yeah. That's totally
Not
fine.
good at this.
Neither am I.
That's totally fine.
No, I mean, but it is hard to debate that. I mean, because he obviously came. What year was like his height when he first blew up? Rodney Dangerfield, was that 70s, 80s,
Yeah, early 80s.
early 80s? You know,
No. It was much earlier than that. It
I
was,
would say
like,
it's earlier than that.
Yeah, Johnny Carson Tonight Show era.
So
Yeah.
so early 70s probably, right?
So
Yeah,
about
yeah.
70s.
The-
Yeah, and obviously a lot of that material isn't gonna. I mean, I'm sure it killed back then, but we didn't understand the life back then. We relate more to Mitch now than we did to Rodney Dangerfield. Even though I am nostalgic towards Rodney Dangerfield because I actually just liked his movies. I liked seeing him in movies. I never really watched his stand-up.
Yeah, he had a better agent. He was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Dangerfield has this crazy story. Like, I'd have to really look it up and go into details, but I know that he obviously didn't break until he was much older, and he had this crazy story of like just being like a working class. He had it was like a mechanic, or he was a carpenter or something like that. Like he had like a real job for like most of his life, and while pursuing stand-up comedy, and then one day he just developed. He was telling the same jokes, but then when he developed that character that he did of like, hey, my wife, and that's kind of what made him a household name, is that everyone fell in love with the character, like Steven was saying, and. And then his catchphrase, he had a couple of them, but what was that, like the most famous catchphrase?
Get no respect.
Yeah, I get no respect. Yeah, as soon as he would say that, because he did it so many times on The Tonight Show, that when he would go do a live theater or his stand-up specials and stuff, he would say that, and the audience would just go like crazy. They just go nuts, I mean, that's just, I don't know if that's saying that he's a better writer, so now that we get into that, so they're both like, so different than each other, but they're the same style of joke tellers, just like a setup punch formula. So let's see, we'll get into the next question here. Kevin, you go first this time, and you have 1 minute. All right.
Oh, I don't have a timer. I'm probably gonna need.
I'm
10
using my
seconds.
internal comedy clock of what I feel like is a minute. You have 1 minute uninterrupted. Okay. And by the way, you're both tied right now because I thought you both deserved a point in that last one. I thought you made good points, okay?
Oh, cool.
But you can have a point taken away if you interrupt someone. So Kevin, 1 minute to answer the question. Both Rodney Dangerfield and Mitch Hedberg right now come back to life miraculously. And they're going to do a show one night only, but at different locations. Why do you go to Mitch Hedberg's show instead of Dangerfield's?
Why would I go to Mitch Hedberg's show instead of just because I like him better? He's better. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. Probably because it would be more acceptable to have drugs there, I guess. No, just because I relate to his material better. I mean, honestly, to be completely honest, I probably would run off to go see Rodney Dangerfield just to say that I saw Rodney Dangerfield.
Really?
But yeah, probably. But I don't know, man.
I mean, they're both dead. It would be an epic
which one
once in a
which show
lifetime.
is closer to me?
they're both equal amount of distance.
Okay, no, I would go to Mitch. I mean, just a lot of cool.
As far as like his
love
stand-up,
Mitch
you
Hedberg,
enjoy it
and
more?
I think I have a better time at that show than I would at Rodney's.
Okay. Steven, why once in a lifetime opportunity? They came back from the dead.
Okay.
Why you got to go see Mitch Hedberg, or you're going to see Dangerfield? Why would you go see Dangerfield over Hedberg?
I think you would bring in better guest sets. I think he would have bigger names drop in to do some time on his show.
Interesting point. Who would
also he's better, and I like him better.
who would Dangerfield bring in, you think?
Oh man. Well, yeah. Who would he bring in? Probably. I mean, I think Jay Leno would stop by, and then probably
Yeah.
just like I think all the famous comedians would stop by.
All of the famous comedians. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He probably would have great guest sets. But they're both so funny. Like, what's like the coolest thing to say, man? Like, hey, dude, I went to see Dangerfield live, or I went to
Rodney
see.
Dangerfield. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
But neither of them are really like topical. I feel like neither of them would really touch on like what's going on now.
Do you
know
like
what I mean?
that? Do you want not topical?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like neither of them would have like grandstanding sort of, preachy jokes.
Okay.
I think it's a point for both of us.
Listen, I'll make the call here. Oh man, I think that I would like to go see Dangerfield because I think that would be like no other show like it, and I imagine it wouldn't be very long. I'd say it'd be like a perfect show, like 60 minutes, and Hedberg would be great too, and because he's such a like creative, brilliant joke writer. But I also kind of feel like Hedberg, his persona and style has been stolen. I'd say probably more than any comic in the world. Like, I feel like I've seen 1,000 comics doing impressions or copied his style. Not even stealing his jokes, but like writing their own new, very clever jokes, but kind of like, this is Hedberg's style. As we're like, so like now I feel like I can see so many different versions of that. And Dangerfield, I feel like
Twitter.
if you take Dangerfield, you're like, dude, you're doing Dangerfield. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's something that's way more rare, but that would be my reasoning anyway.
Yeah, I think a lot of like jokes on Twitter are written in Hedberg's sort of style.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and so I feel like there's a lot of copycats and there's a lot of styles like that already. But Dangerfield, there's something about it for me that was just some of those jokes, like you said, they are kind of corny, but some of them are they just make me like
Some
laugh.
of them are not aged well, but some of them are pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. I guess that's true. They haven't really aged well, but the stuff about the wife is all aged well, Or I mean, if you wanted to, you can change it. Like I love the one where he goes like, I got into a cab and I told him to take me where the action is. He took me to my wife's house. Like you could still do that joke, but maybe say Uber. You know what I mean?
That's what I would want. I mean, if Rodney was going to come back, I would want to see him talk about, in the language of what's happening today, but not getting on the topics of, what you guys are talking about.
Gotcha. Did you guys see my emails or no?
Yeah. Oh my God. You're emailing some shady ass people.
Dude, every time I hate this laptop. Every time I get an email, like it just opens on the whole screen.
No, I'm just kidding. It didn't open up.
No, we didn't see anything.
I just wanted to make you feel nervous.
Wait, are you guys being serious or are you joking?
It wasn't on there.
Oh, okay.
Emails. What do you?
Okay, cool.
Do I get a point for that?
No, but I do see these like my ESPN like fantasy app is like pops up on my screen.
ESPN while we're
Not at all. It's just like I get these stupid emails and the
Okay.
notifications keep popping up on my screen. All right, cool. Steven, do you actually? I know I chose the guys that you guys are going to represent, but do you actually like Rodney Dangerfield? Because I mean,
Yeah.
you're a great joke writer.
Yeah, I think. I guess I probably like 10, I think like 10% of his stuff is like really great, and I think like 90% is just kind of corny now. But
Really?
10% that's really great is like just really smart, just like good jokes.
Would
Yeah,
you say?
I guess I don't really like the ones where it's I was so ugly the doctor hung himself. Okay, cool.
There's
But
some that I can
like-
do without with him.
And he's got like 90 different jokes that are the same.
I guess
structure,
that's true.
where someone confuses him for an animal or something. But
Yeah.
the
It's
ones
almost
I
like he
I really
rewrote.
like.
He like rewrote the same joke a bunch of times and was like, which one works best? But he kept doing them all on
Yeah.
different TV shows.
Every comedian's dream is to do that, to just rewrite the same joke and then make 5 albums.
Right? Is that how many albums he did?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But in reality, Steven, do you like Mitch Hedberg better? Do you think? Or
No, I guess I like him equal.
yeah,
I like more of Mitch Hedberg's stuff, but I guess I don't like it as much as the stuff I like from Rodney.
did you?
I think Rodney was just more culturally impactful, which is kind of cool.
Do you look up to them as like, a joke writer?
Oh yeah, especially Rodney, since it took him so long to be successful.
Right.
I think that's really admirable.
And what's sad about Mitch is that like he got successful so young, and then like and then he died. It sucked. Let's see here. I'm kind of making up these questions as I go along, you guys. I don't know if you can tell, but we're just having fun. I'm trying to figure out, is it my internet or is it Steven's? Because Steven's video keeps going in and out. Did you hear it too, Kevin, when he was talking?
I don't. His is fine. It's
Okay, so it's probably my internet then. All right, cool. Let's
Turn
see.
off ESPN.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. We used to do the Laughter Piece Theater on here, where once a month we'd play stand-up tracks, and it was usually around the same theme. And we would often play. A couple times we played Dangerfield, but we would often play Mitch Hedberg, which is why I think that he's like. I think you told me once that he's your favorite stand-up comic.
Did I say that?
I think you have said that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would say so. Probably one of them. He's definitely one of them. I don't know. There is that. As dark as it is to say, when famous people die young, it kind of brings them up to a different type of standard, I guess. But I don't get me wrong. There were a lot of jokes of his that just went, I'm good. But like when you get that one joke, I would literally laugh so hard I would think about that joke the next day and laugh again. But he is one of my favorite, but I wouldn't say he's my absolute favorite. But I don't know. I do like his character. I do like his energy, and I do like his joke writing style the best because it felt so different than everybody else for a while.
Do you think that his energy is like a little too slow sometimes? Like, could you watch it for a whole hour?
Well, that was the thing. Like, I like watching clips of him, but you're right. I mean, like once he's has that same type of stoner personality for too long, it is almost like Rodney in a way where sometimes it feels like it is kind of like the same type of structure. When it's just like repetitive, and I couldn't take it for too long. But when it hits, and that's why I watch it. It's like when you make a movie, you record so much, and then you just usually just take the best stuff, and that's what I like about him. It feels more raw, and then you find the stuff in there that you really love.
Yeah, I think the problem with like not that it's a problem, but with this style of joke tellers of like set up punchlines, it's great for like a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think like after a while I don't want to watch just one-liners. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think that it's like stories. You tell a story, then the time just flies by. But like these one-liners, like how long could you really watch them do? Like some of these Netflix specials right now are like more than an hour. They're like an hour and 20, some of them. And it's like, I don't know. So, Kevin, who could you watch longer? Because Rodney Dangerfield was at least like upbeat, high energy. So who could you sit through longer?
I could honestly, I think I could. That's a good question. Who could I sit through longer? Probably Mitch Hedberg, because I find his jokes funnier, especially now especially because Rodney Dangerfield stuff doesn't really hold up that much, but they are funny. But I would be able to sit through a longer set of Mitch Hedberg than Rodney Dangerfield.
What about you, Steven? Who could you sit through longer?
I don't know, but yeah, Mitch Hedberg reminds me a lot of Stephen Wright, where it's that low energy joke structure, and
That's right.
I really don't know if I could watch an hour of that live. And did you ever see the behind the scenes of Mitch Hedberg's half-hour special on Comedy Central?
No.
Ever see that? Because the one that aired that really got popular, he was kind of bombing, and he addresses it, and they had to cut it down from I think 43 minutes to 27.
Oh!
He was
I have seen
well.
Wow.
I've seen a couple of clips of Hedberg bombing. To be honest with you,
Well, that's entertaining too.
There is a few out there.
Like that better, but yeah, I think so. Some people, if they didn't really get Mitch, I think it was probably a long show.
Yeah, huh? That's a pretty interesting point too. Pretty interesting, Steve.
Probably a point worthy. It's a point worthy of a point if I had to.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like sometimes those. Well, Steven, do you consider yourself a one-liner?
No.
What kind of style would you consider yourself?
I don't know. I guess observational, but I don't. Yeah, I don't really do one.
Would you compare yourself more to like Seinfeld than Dangerfield or Hedberg?
Yeah, probably something like that in terms of structure. or like John Mulaney, kind of like where there's jokes in there, but it's not one-liners.
Right. And then I think Stephen Wright. I mean, that's a great point. He's another person with like really low energy that has like really brilliant one-liners or just joke tellers. I've actually showed Kevin Stephen Wright a couple of times, and I don't think he liked him that much, which is funny. Like a couple of things I showed him, he was like, I think he's an acquired taste.
You can really only watch like 5 minutes of him at a time. I can't imagine going to an hour show of his.
Right. Well, he does have some like funny anecdotes that do kind of take a little bit longer to tell. Like I think one of my favorite jokes of all time that is just like it's a street joke that I tell people not on stage. You know what I mean? It's like one of my favorite jokes of all time was by Stephen Wright. I think it's the one where he's going like, have you ever heard the one where he's talking about the married couple? The wife passed away first, and the husband, and then they go talk to what's the name of the saint who guards heaven? St. Peter.
St. Peter.
St. Peter. So they go. Okay, so it seems like you guys don't know this one. So I'll try to make it short because it's a longer bit. But married couple, wife passes away first. She goes and talks to St. Peter. St. Peter says to get into heaven, you got to spell a word. You have to spell the word love, and she spells it no problem. And he's like, "Cool, you're getting into heaven." He goes, "Just watch the gate for me really quick because I got to go to the bathroom." And then he goes, and then the husband who died right after the wife. He shows up, and the wife is there guarding the gates of heaven, and she's like, "Oh, you want to come into heaven?" And he's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Spell a word," and he's like, "What word?" And she goes, "Czechoslovakian." Like she didn't want her husband to go to heaven. But I just gave you the short version. But that's a Stephen Wright joke, which is like one of my favorite jokes of all time. I just think it's so funny, and I think he kind of gives like the couple more of like a backstory. But I like when even some comics who are just joke tellers eventually become like more like storytellers, or they do like longer bits and stuff like that. But that's funny. Yeah, I'd say he is kind of similar to Hedberg, but yeah, Kevin didn't like him.
Yeah, I feel like you would have to do some anecdotes or stories to keep an audience for an hour. I don't know if I can't imagine doing one-liners for an hour.
Yeah, and you know what Hedberg did once? And so did Dimitri Martin. Remember Dimitri Martin?
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, those one-liners or the little Pictionary drawings that he would do on the easel. They did a whole special with like someone playing music in the background. Like someone like a bass or something, like really like jazzy low, just do kind of faint in the background as they were doing these one-liner jokes, which I think kind of made it,
Yeah, Zach Galifianakis sort of did a version of that. It definitely helps in terms of the pacing.
Right, when he kind of played the piano a little bit too, right? When that's right. And that's right. And he had somebody come in, I think, with like a bass or a violin or something while he did that little Pictionary thing. That's right. Galifianakis did that too. I know, Adam Hunter. I think you guys both know Adam Hunter. Adam Hunter's a one-line comic where he's just pure spit and fire. That guy headlines, and I know he does like 45 to an hour. And I think when you do that, sometimes you gotta just like take a minute and like let them breathe and catch up for a little bit. It's like, dude, in 5 minutes, those guys can do like 10 plus jokes. Imagine in 45 minutes to an hour. That's insane.
I know Brian Kiley does that too. And do you know Brian Kiley?
No.
Okay. He's a comedian and a writer for Conan. But yeah, he's a one-liner guy.
Cool.
Got kind of a little bit of a slower pace.
All right, this one's for Kevin. Do you have a biased opinion about Mitch Hedberg? Because he is kind of a stoner, and so are you.
Yeah, I do. I do have a biased opinion because I relate to it better. I mean, that's literally,
But not the material, the character.
Well, yeah, that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I personally relate to that better.
Steve?
I mean, I wasn't on like the crazy drugs he was on. Like,
right.
It's different.
Well, yeah, you're still alive.
Yeah. Definitely there's a biased opinion towards it, especially with the character and just his energy.
Okay, so if somebody right now is listening to this and they never heard of either comic, why should they take your advice to go check out Hedberg instead of Hedberg instead of Dangerfield? Because they might just say, well, he's just into that stoner stuff, so why would I check him out over him?
Well, I was literally just gonna say, if you like drugs, you're gonna like Mitch Hedberg.
But what if you don't like drugs?
Because it is different. It is different. It's. I mean, everybody knows who Rodney Dangerfield is, but a lot of people may not know who Mitch Hedberg is. So if you already know what you're going to get, why not take a chance on something that already sounds a little bit different and outside the box? Especially, stoner mentality usually does that. They usually like, why is this like this? That's
Okay.
what I was.
I will reward you no points. Steven.
Okay.
Steven.
You can have one of my points.
Right now, when this podcast is over, somebody's gonna be like, I never heard of it. I never watched any of these two do stand up, and why should they go watch Dangerfield, like a YouTube clip, and not Hedberg? Why would they enjoy Dangerfield more? Just a clip, not a whole hour.
Just a minute.
Just a YouTube clip of some of the best.
Yeah. Probably just to see, all the comedians who have been influenced by him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The jokes. He's just lots of jokes. If you like jokes, you're gonna like. He invented jokes. A lot of people don't know that.
Just easy, hilarious jokes.
There were never jokes before Rodney Dangerfield.
All right. Here's my calculation, you guys. Steven has 3 points.
What? Okay.
And Kevin has 2. So I'm saying Steven won
really?
this one. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm saying. You were losing for a minute there, but I think that you pulled it back. And but listen,
Because
guys.
he said he has jokes.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one.
Oh, okay.
I was keeping my tally throughout. It wasn't just that last one. But listen, guys, like I said, it's just for fun. It just gets people interested, talking about comedy again, and hopefully people do go and check out them or some other greats and just turn off the news for a little bit. What's that, Steven?
They should check out all the comedians we've mentioned on this show.
Absolutely. Just go,
Right?
some people, maybe they never, a lot of people today, especially that listen to podcasts, and there's nothing wrong with it. They love the Burrs and the Rogans and the, Bert Kreischers, and everybody's just really on their current people. But it's like, guys, those guys are great. I absolutely love them. Like, some of them are close friends of mine that I really look up to them. But don't be such a sheep sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, don't just go where everybody's going. Go check out other unknowns or check out really older comics that paved the way for a lot of these guys. Like, I just hope that it gets people talking, and I hope that people enjoy hearing comics talked about, why they love the comics that they like. And just turn off the news, for a little bit. Think about something else. Talk about something else. Entertainment. You got to go get entertained. But anyway, guys, this was fun, and I hope you had fun too. Although at times you look like, not really. This is ridiculous.
It was fun. I had fun. It was fun, especially when you're forced to argue for somebody that you didn't choose for. Now I know what a lot of these,
Sounds like a sore
criminal assigned lawyers are like.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I can do.
Public defender, yeah.
Public defender. That's it.
Yeah. Why did your client? Why is it okay that your client killed this person?
Because he was angry.
If you had the choice, who would you have chose?
He had jokes.
Kevin, who would you have chose if you had the choice?
I would have chose Mitch Hedberg just because just because I would feel more comfortable, defending. Just because I've seen a lot more of his actual material. With Rodney, I've already, I've seen his material, and it's kind of like but Mitch always made me laugh out loud. So. And
to be fair, Kevin literally found out exactly what he was going to do today. And if Steven, who would you have picked to defend if you had your choice?
I don't know. I think I'd probably Rodney. Out
of any comic in the world. I don't mean out of these two.
If what?
Out of any comic in the world. Like, not these two. I mean, any comic in the world. Who would you have? That's what I was asking you guys. That's why. That's why it's hilarious that you chose who I assigned to you.
Oh no, I thought you meant like would I have if I had to choose between Rodney and Mitch?
No, if you had to choose between any comic in the world.
Yeah.
Who would you have liked to have been represented or defended?
I don't know. It's interesting because like these two comedians, they're both kind of like joke tellers. They both sort of have similar styles.
That's why I thought I put them up against each other.
I wonder. I probably would have picked someone who's like a joke writer because I kind of like jokes. I'm not a big fan of like rants or anything.
Right.
But I don't know who exactly I would have picked. Probably not Rodney.
Brian Regan
probably
is
another
really
joke
funny.
writer.
What'd you say, Kev?
Brian Regan would have been really funny too, because I'm thinking about people whose jokes I actually like really enjoyed, and from him, something that always blew my mind was I don't think I ever remember hearing him swear. He probably has, but like it felt like a lot of his comedy was clean too.
Yeah.
But like
Regan's a good one. Do you like Regan, Steven?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I'll bring up. You know who I only have one more series left, and I haven't chosen the comics that I want to do in that one. But you know who I'd really like? Regan would be great, but I would really like to bring in Chris Rock, which I think I think Chris Rock is one of the best. I also thought about Patrice O'Neal, but I don't even think you can put Patrice O'Neal up against anybody. It's just, dude, he's great. Let's just leave it at that. So we'll see. We'll have some fun in the next one.
I mean,
who?
I said Chappelle too, dude. I love Chappelle.
Right. I think that would be like a go-to though. Like, everybody would be like, I don't know. For me, I'm not really interested in seeing anybody debate him. I see it every day. Every time you open Facebook, some comic's like, Chappelle's the greatest of all time. But anyway, I hope that you guys had fun. I hope everybody listening had fun. And, guys, go entertain yourself. There's a lot of great comedy out there. I've been watching a lot lately just because I miss comedy. And I just going back to restudying it again as the world slowly opens up. How's things out there in Chicago, Steven? You guys doing any shows? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I've been doing a few shows the last weekend and two. It's starting to open up with social distance capacity, but
in the clubs.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's slowly but surely.
Dude, out here in Los Angeles, not only are comedy clubs not allowed to open, but not even for outdoor.
Yeah, I've heard it's very strict.
It's pretty tough, dude, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. And I'm still like every week battling with the LA County, like trying to come up with solutions and talk to them about like allowing us to do it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks you guys. Thanks for coming in, Kevin. Good to see you. Steven, it was good to see you.
Nice to talk to you, Steven.
Good to talk to you guys too.
Steven, if you want, you can go ahead and end the call. I'm just gonna do like the closing up and stuff with Kevin.
Okay. The
cool.
points have already been tallied, right? It's not. You can't change them.
Well, you won. What do you want to go back and lose?
Okay. Just wanted to make sure before I leave.
Also, comedy is open to interpretation. Obviously, it's just. You know what I mean? This is silly to argue it. It's just like, dude, that's, some people, it's just for fun. And if anybody thinks that I tallied it wrong and that Kevin won and not Steven, go ahead.
I did not win.
Just hit me up or let me know your feedback on everything.
It's a waste of time.
Steven, where can people follow you? I know you have an Instagram that you do a lot of funny videos and you film a lot of funny stuff.
Videos. Instagram is Steven Haas Insta, or on TikTok. I've been uploading them there. Steven Haas TikTok, or Twitter, Steven Haas Twitch.
Check him out, guys. He does a lot of funny stuff.
Social media platforms. So
Steven Haas, everybody, check him out. And I'll see you soon, dude. Hopefully sooner than later.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Steven.
All right, now let's talk about that piece of shit.
All right,
I'm just
I
kidding.
really won, right? Did I win?
No, he
I'm just
won.
Kidding.
He won.
I know.
And it wasn't because he has funny jokes. That wasn't the reason. Listen, everyone has to have a winner, and you weren't it.
It's okay. I'm used to being the loser. So
I'm just kidding, man.
It's burden on to me, brother.
It's just for fun, man. This one was super just fun and silly, and I think the first one was actually like kind of more intense and in depth and stuff. So a little bit of best of both worlds. But it's good to see you, dude.
Good to see you too, man.
And that's it. We got some stuff in the works for you guys. Kevin and I are going to be, really working on the YouTube, and we're going to start getting these episodes out to you quicker as far as video. And so if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Agostino Zoida. That's my YouTube channel. And that's where all the podcast episodes are going. So we are at the same time catching up on old ones, even ones that we didn't have video, and I'm just putting them to still photos. And at the same time, we are trying to keep current with the ones that we are currently releasing. So we're doing our best, and we got a lot of stuff in the works, you guys. We're going to be on top of it. We got more guests, we got more great shows, more solo episodes, and one more of the great debates. So that's it, you guys. Make sure that you please download my comedy album, and that you excuse me, and you please leave it 5 stars. That's super, super important. And don't forget to get yourself hooked up with Puffy Mattress. It's time to start getting a good night's sleep. Click the link in the description to get $300 off, plus your free king-size Puffy pillow. And that's it, you guys. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you later in the week. And I want to thank Steven Haas for coming in and doing that with us. It looked like against his will. And
but you have to sign off as Rodney Dangerfield.
Me?
You have to do your best impression. You picked him as a winner. You have to do your best Rodney Dangerfield to end this episode. So go ahead.
All right. I get no respect. Take my wife, please.
He sounded like fucking Kermit the Frog trying to sound tough. I get no respect. Hey, I get no respect. All right.
What about Hedberg? I could do a Hedberg. I like this one when he was performing at the Improv. There's a clip online where he goes, last night I was here and I had a really bad set. And he goes, and tonight they put an E at the end of it. Because, it says improv in the back. And he goes, now it says improve. So I'm doing a lot better today.
Well, there was one where he was talking about, it's going to take too long because I don't even remember it properly.
It's just all good, you guys. Go check it out. Go laugh. Turn off the news for a little while. You can afford to not watch the news, okay? Whatever happens, you'll wake up and you'll read it. Just go, like, laugh. And by the way, if you like laughing and you want to listen to, or maybe you already do listen to Pandora. A lot of people just put on, like, Pandora or Spotify and just listen to, on shuffle, different artists that they recommend for you, different tracks. If you guys want to do that, you can help support me and listen to my channels. I'm on Spotify and I'm on Pandora. I'm now on Pandora. You can listen to stand-up comedy on Agostino Zoida Radio, which is not only going to play my tracks, it's going to play like tons of different comics. And as you're listening, I get paid. So I would really appreciate that. And if you don't like it, then just turn it down and don't listen to it, but still let it run so I get paid. That's it. Thank you, Steven Haas, for calling in. Thank you, Kevin Lyons, for being here. And we'll see you guys next week. And hope you guys get entertained. You laugh. You spread some love. And that's it. We'll see you next time here on Homeschooled Podcast. Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
No, okay.
I don't want to do that at all.